what was your official first business? Was it doing the promotion, get your buzz up, or the record label? Like which
Nah, it
would you
was
start
top.
first?
It was Midwest Co-op was the first business structure, and then
Okay.
when me and Tef became business partners, and then me taking over running the business side for TOP,
Okay.
and then from there into my own management company, Get Your Buzz Up. I started as an intern. Believe it or not, I was an intern at Get Your Buzz Up, and now I'm the owner. Ah, that's how you do that.
That's your pattern, I
But
see.
yeah, most definitely. And but no, I had jobs, man. Like man, I worked at a grocery store before. That was a cool job when I moved to Richland Center. And then actually the favorite, I had two jobs that I thought were really dope. One, I was a teacher at a daycare my senior year of high school and then after high school. And I
Oh, that's
really
great.
liked that job. I really, really liked that job. I had to go get certified, actually do this stuff. And, I already like kids. So it was like, cool. And then they put me with the older kids. So it was like, oh, cool. So, and then Culver's, believe it or not, Culver's taught me a lot, actually. Craig Culver's a genius. And I
I
learned a
agree.
lot without,
Word.
and I don't have regrets. I just should have picked his brain. I had opportunities, but I wasn't
Really?
thinking like that. Yeah, man, because
Wow.
I was working at a corporate store, and a corporate store is like their store. It's one Culver that Craig Culver opened himself. And
Mm.
so I worked lots of different positions within that store, including in-store trainer, which sent me to other stores to go open them up
Mm.
and work these long hours. And it was fun. And I had to train all these people. So I was learning so much about the business side of things just on that. And then I would watch this man come in and just give Badger tickets away like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. And it was like, oh, and then he come in and work the grill. And I could see the hustle. Like I'm like, oh, okay, he's just trying to show that he's still part of it. But his whole story is that he started, at A&W and then eventually bought it and then moved on to Culver's and created his own thing. So it was like,
Didn't
oh,
know that. That's crazy.
yeah. So it was like, I got to actually talk with someone and shake their hands and get Badger tickets from them. And he would constantly come to the stores. And it was like, oh, this is a different kind of hustle. Okay.
Mm.
And then from there, just working in factories. For a while there, I made yogurt, man. I know all about making yogurt, B. Like I can make me some yogurt
That's
for
what's up.
that
Yeah.
taught me a different work ethic. When I was working at a yogurt factory, and when it started, there was only two shifts, first and second shift. But there were times where the machine would break and we'd be there till 6 in the morning.
Oh, damn.
Dang.
And the only customer they had was Walmart because Walmart was new. Like they were just like coming on board to taking over things.
Mm.
But then and then I watched them, Debo, and take every single yogurt company, sour cream company.
Mm.
They took Dean out of business because Dean's factory was in Richland Center.
Yeah. Okay. I
Dang.
remember
And
Dean.
so they took them out of
Yeah.
business. And I was like, whoa. And they got so much business. We'd eventually have a third shift. But I would work like 18 days in a row, get a half day off, work 21 days in a row, get another. And like,
Mm-mm.
I was watching us kill the competition. Like they were taking them out. It was just like, hey, that's my block. It's my block now. And they were
Yeah.
literally taking it in the yogurt and dairy industry. I was like, man. And then they sold it off. And I was like, oh, that's a different kind of hustle. But I also learned that I could work like a madman. And I didn't like my job. And I ran but I also got to learn to be a leader. I ran an entire yogurt line. So like at the start of the line, you got the processors. They make all the milk. They do all that stuff. And then it pumps in to the room. And I had to like throughout an 8-hour shift, you're picking up somewhere between 150 and 350 pound bags of fruit. You're just picking them up, slicing them open. They fall in there, squeeze it out, throw it away, pick up another one. And that is your job at that part. But then you got to run this big machine, supply with cups, make sure the foils are right, make sure the temperatures are right, make sure the weight was on point, make sure the taste was good, make sure that your your partner didn't put the wrong bag of fruit in, because sometimes that shit happens. And then you have to like catch it, make sure the dates are right, make sure that they're doing everything at their end. They're when because there was a machine that would put yogurt in the packaging, make sure that's all right, and then make sure the palletizers are counting the pallets correctly, and make sure they're putting it in the freezer, the heat. Like, I was responsible for this. And so on top of doing all the manual labor, I have to make sure everybody else is on point too, and train other people. And, you know, I learned that money wasn't everything with that job, because I owned a house, I had a few cars, but by the time I worked the first shift, so by the time I get off like 2 or 3, you work 21 days in a row and steel toe boots and that kind of environment. You don't want to walk a dog. You don't want to take your family for a walk. I drank a beer and don't talk, like, let me just chill. Let me just chill. And I learned money wasn't everything, but I knew I had the work ethic because I'm doing it, and I did it for years. So I was like, I need to go do me. And once I did that, I had to do me. And so, I mean, I worked other jobs. I worked at Blockbuster strictly just so I can get free movies. That was my hustle. It was like, I don't want to pay for movies and video games. And they were right across the street. And the thing is, this might be off topic. The whole reason why I didn't care if I failed in music is because I sold my house, and me and Ryan were going to school together. Not many people know this. I sold my house and I lived on Ryan's couch. So I sold my house in Richland Center, stopped working at that job, and didn't have anything. Nothing. And the only reason I got the bedroom is we made a deal. My daughter would come there, bedroom, and I had my daughter like every other week. And so it was a big chance. And I got a job at Blockbuster so I could make some extra money, so I didn't have to go through all the money that I made from selling the house. But I didn't want to spend money either. So free movies and free games every week seemed like a good hustle. And it, you know, and I worked at other places and handled business. And the last job I had actually, I worked at Badger Buzz. When me and Sherelle got together, I got laid off from one job, and music wasn't making money yet. Not like that. It make a couple $100 here and there from a show. And we just moved in together. So I was like, So I looked, and Bad Buzz was hiring, and they pay halfway decent, and the hours I could work. And then we had our son, so I could, because, well, birth control didn't work right then. So, so we had our son. So it was like I could work these hours and still be a stay-at-home dad, and it supplemented the income. But then they laid me off, and it was like, music it is. And so whenever my back is against the wall, I come out swinging like a madman. I just try to keep calm while doing it and just put it together. And all of a sudden, doing shows, and I always stayed to my word. If you ask DJ Payne One, he's told this story before when he knew he could trust me. We did a show, and Wisconsin hit a blizzard, of course, and it was a freestyle battle, and it was dead. Crickets, because there was a blizzard. And I said, yo, would you be open to make me paying you a little bit less? He was like, man. I'm like, nope, don't even worry about it. Because the moment he said, man, I was like, nope. But I had to ask, and I just paid him what I told him. And I've never not paid someone what I told him I was going to pay him. And so that's what led to Get Your Buzz Up, because they were looking to get into Madison. And he connected me with him and did a couple events. And then next thing I know, I'm an intern. Next thing I know, I'm the VP. Next thing is like, well, I want to go do this venture. You're Mr. Get Your Buzz Up now. You want it? Yep, I'll pay for it. Come on, let's go.